We are looking at the challenge of their elections after that. I'm in touch with the Electoral Commission and Finance and Attorney General. The challenge is a finance challenge, but we'll provide the necessary guidance and will ensure that the LOC chairpersons remain working with the necessary guidance. We'll provide that early next week. Secondly, on the failure to pay ex gratia and allowances of our LOCs and councillors, Right Honorable Speaker, it is true that since 2021, we've had an increase, a big increase in the number of councillors, mainly because of the administrative units which had been created and had not been operationalized. And then secondly, the formula for election of councillors in the Local Government Act, which is based on the population figures of the local governments. I'll give the example of Wakiso district. I think in the last term, we had around 60 councillors. We now have 107 councillors. Unfortunately, this increase has not been matched with an increase in the budget to pay the councillors' allowances, especially those from the new administrative units have not been paid since they assumed office in May 2021. We have carried out some inquiry and we are compiling the information so that we are able to state clearly for each district how much we owe the councillors in terms of areas. Payment of councillors and chairpersons ex gratia and allowances is a statutory obligation on government. We must do that. So we shall provide the necessary budget and support so that Ministry of Finance originates the supplementary budget to make sure that this obligation is met. The third one was on the return of funds to Treasury, Mr. Speaker, sir. Under the Public Finance Management Act, Section 26, any balance of funds withdrawn from the consolidated fund and not utilized by any local government at the end of the financial year must be returned to Treasury. But it is known that if the money has been committed and that information has been given to Treasury by the accounting officer, that money should be reverted to the local government. There are two scenarios this financial year, or what happened at the end of June. One was late release of funds to the local governments. Some money was released somewhere in mid-June, and it was virtually impossible for the districts to carry out procurement. And it was difficult also to do recruitment. So this money had to be returned to Treasury. It has been swept back. But also there was a challenge of, the second issue was the failure or the delay to clear the request for recruitment by Ministry of Public Service, the District Service Commissions. So don't be surprised, colleagues, if you see a lot of money under the wage bill returned to Treasury from your districts. The proposed way forward for this is, number one, we did agree with Ministry of Finance that any release of funds to local government should be done at the beginning of the quarter, not at the end. We're going to follow this up so that really we don't make life hard for the local governments. You release money mid-June and you expect the two weeks, the districts have advertised and got a tender and so on. It does not work. A second one was the issue of reverting funds to the local governments. Cabinet position on the guidance of the president is by August, the money which is committed for service delivery, in order not to deny services to the people, must be reverted to these local governments. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I think that's very clear. Supplementary question is not provided for.